All right, midterm review. Question 16. Verify and note which values make the expression So I'm going to write it down. Write it down this way. Dx plus 45. Factor both the top, the numerator, and the bottom denominator. The top, you can see a 5 is out in front as our leading coefficient. You want to see if you can divide this number out of all these numbers first, which we can. So when I do, I'm with 5 on the outside. What is left over? Well, 5 times x squared is 5x squared. 5 times negative 10x is x. And times 5 is 45. Okay, so now the denominator. We can do, well, I'm just rewrite it, and then we'll do the diamond method for the top and bottom in a second. Okay, so that's the denominator right there. All right, so now we need to do the diamond top and the bottom. Okay, so that's this guy right here. I'm going to do it in my head. If you can't do this, then you need a lot of practice on this stuff. The top, don't forget that 5 out front. We're going to have x minus 9 x minus 9 and x minus 1. The bottom is going to be 2x minus 9. Now when we're here, we can see that we can cross off the x minus 9s. What is left over is 5 times x minus 1 over x minus 9. And I need to zoom out a little bit so you can see that. Okay, and there is the entire first problem's work. So there's the very top. 5 out. Then we do 2 x methods to the bottom, and we see what we can cancel out. The values that x cannot equal is just simply x cannot equal positive 9. And on the test, I am not going to ask this question. I'm just going to ask you to input this. Okay. And if you remember on cons, some of the times they said make sure you write it in expanded form, which that would be 5x minus 5 over x minus. I would just put in this answer though, if I were you. There's no reason to do this if you don't want to. Okay, that's question 15. All right, question 17. I'm going to pause this and write it down. Okay, here is question 17. Once again, look at the leading coefficient. See what we can pull out. We can pull out a 3 of both 3 and 3, so that is correct. Let me try my green marker. Yeah, I have more. Yeah, 3. All right, what is left over? Oh, actually, I need to pull out some x's. Not done yet. So I can factor out 3, and I have 11 x's here, and I have 5 here, so I can pull out at least 5. So I'm going to pull them all out. What's left over? I'm going to factor the bottom right now. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to finish the top. So what is left? 3x times what? It's going to be 6 and plus 1. Now let's factor the bottom. X to the 12. Okay, it's going to scare some of you. It's not going to be x times x11 times x1 because we have an x. It's typically going to be whatever is half of this number. What our two factors need, unless we can pull an x out of all 3 terms. But there's no x in this last term, so we cannot pull any x's out. Up here we could because there's an x in both terms. Down here there's an x in the first 2, but not third. So we cannot pull an x out of everything. And what we're going to end up getting is x6, x6, because these two equal x12. And then we have to get 3 somehow. Well, we only get 3 is 3 times 1. And we can see that this is a plus sign. So we're going to have 3 and 1. Because 1 times 3 is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. And now we can see what we can cancel out. Cancel out an x to 6, 1. And this is our answer right here. Once again, I'm not going to ask you on the test what value x cannot equal. Actually, it's not going to be any value this question. I will show you why. Equals 0. Subtract 3 from both sides. We get x to 6 equals negative 3. And we take the 6th root of x to 6 and the 6th root of negative 3. Well, you cannot take, that's not negative. You cannot take a even root of a negative 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You cannot have roots of an even number because let's say you had square root of 4, okay? Equals 2, because 2 times 2 is 4. Well, if I made this negative, there's no that multiplies by itself to get to negative. If I put negative 2 here, negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. So there's actually no excluded value, because you have a negative 1 and be the 6th root of negative 1, which would actually equal I, if you're familiar with I. The actual answer, the answer is 3/6 over x to 6 plus 3. And one last question. So it's x squared plus 8x plus 16. All right, I'm going to factor these really quickly. We get x plus 4x plus 4 over x plus 4 times x plus 2. And what we see that cancels out. Our x plus 4's cancel out. So our answer is going to be x plus 4 over x plus 2. On the test, I have, on the actual question, I ask, or I tell you, I think I have it as zeros equal, and that's going to be the numbers that are up top, so 4, all right? Then I have it as, is it discontinuities next? I forget what the array is on that. But I actually want you to type this out, or you need continuity. That's going to be what we cancel off, which is negative 4 as well. We're going to learn, which but when we start graphing, is that discontinuity overrules 0. So if you have both, technically only the discontinuity is correct. But on the test, it's not. I won't have the same number. I made that change on the test. And a vertical asymptote, the final one. ASY, how do you spell this word? M. He has M here. PTOE. And that's the one that is in the denominator. So I'm looking for you to type this out or copy and paste the words, and then you put the numbers behind it on the test. I detail it on the test, so it should be kind of odd. If not, just ask me when you come across that question. Okay, that is it.